Good day, everyone. My name is Carden Madzokere. Let's jump into the workbook. So, as you see, we'll start. So, we have all the 14 topics. So, we start with circular flow. So, here, what I did, I'll take the exam guidelines and then whatever it is that they say learners should know, I put it in there and just ask you to fill in. For instance, you must know the definition of what a circular flow is. So there it is on number one. Then they say you must know the participants. Then I try to find out if you know them. Then they say you must be able to draw a circular flow diagram. There I give you space, draw it. Then they say you must be able to discuss the relationship between the four participants. So you must be able to tell us households and businesses, how do they relate? Businesses and government, how do they relate? And so on. Then who are the primary participants and all that stuff, the factors of production, and then their remuneration. Then from there, a couple of symbols that we use in circular flow. What do they stand for? Then from there, we talk about the flows. We have our real and our money flow. Then from there, we go to the model equation for GDP. Do you know how to complete that? And then, as you can see, leakages and injections come into play. And then we have our markets there from 22 to 27. Then GDP comes in from number 28. The definition, the methods of calculating, and you should be able also to tell us the entire production method, like what do you start with and what do you add it to, and then the income method, and then the expenditure method. This is helpful. You'll see shortly when I just give you an overview of the questions in the exam. All right, so then we go with our methods and what each item means. Then from there, we come here from number 36. Yeah, it's still the GDP, the methods. Then we go to the conversions from 44. How do you convert from this to that and so on? So all this is our conversions. Remember, this topic says national account aggregates. That's your GDP and your methods, right? Then conversions, then how do you convert from this to that? So this is the portion of the conversions. Then last but not least, we have our last unit, which is the multiplier. So I want to ask here, do you know the formula for calculating the multiplier? And do you know how to draw that graph? All right, so I think that's that. Then this will be preparing you for the exam. So in an exam, we have you are required to answer at least four data response questions. So if you choose macroeconomics as your focus or your focal point, you're required to answer four data response questions, and the selection that would make sense for someone who focuses on macroeconomics, that's questions 2, questions 4. So all in all, you answer questions 1, 2, 4, and 5. So question 1, that's your compulsory section A question, which is everything, both macro and economic pursuits for paper 1, and both micro and contemporary for paper 2. But I'm talking about paper 1 for now because this circular flow comes from macroeconomics. So with that, you'll answer 2.2, which is a data response question with 10 marks. And those 10 marks are staggered 1, 1, 2, 2, 4. Okay. Now, because you have 4 data response questions, that's 40 marks. That's a lot. That's almost 30% of the entire question paper. That's a lot. So as much as we put effort on essay type questions, we should not overlook data response because they contribute the same amount of marks as your essay type question. So if you master the skill of answering data response questions, then you're good to go. And here I don't only address data response. Yes, I focus on it, but that's not my main focus. Okay, so let's have a look. You see here, they're asking you to study the extract, and this you can see it's on the multiplier. So just have a look. This is how they used to do it prior to 2019, I think. They could have 2 marks, 2 marks, 2 marks, 4 marks like this. But we no longer have it like this. Now we have 1 mark, 1 mark, 2 marks, 2 marks, and the last question is 4 marks. So 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 4, that's 10. Okay, so here are examples from questions that have been coming over the years. Now, you see, in before we got here, I was showing you the methods of calculating GDP. So the importance of you knowing this, let me go back. For instance, questions 30, 31, and 32. If you can complete these three, it means you know that for production method with primary plus secondary plus tertiary equals to GDP at basic prices plus taxes on products minus subsidies on products equals to GDP at market prices. And for income method, you know it's compensation of employees plus net operating surplus plus consumption of fixed capital equals to GDP at factor cost plus other taxes on production minus other subsidies on production equals GDP at basic prices plus taxes on products minus subsidies on products equals GDP at market prices. So you knowing something like this is helpful. So this is preparing you for the exam, right? So now when you go into the exam, then you bump into something like this. So you already know it that, oh, we take this, we add it to this, and so on. And then they remove an item. Now, you don't know which item. Like in this case, where it says A, they'll then ask you, what is the missing item A? So because you know how to answer those questions I just showed you there, it's going to be easy for you to know what's missing there. And if ever they ask you to calculate, you know that, oh, we add this, we subtract that, we whatever. So that's why I recommend that you start with that, then you start going through these data response questions. And like I said, our questions are now staggered this way. This is what I meant. You see, the first question is 1 mark. It's usually a very simple question. The next one is also 1 mark. It's very simple, lower order. Then we go to middle order questions. You see here, name the missing item A. This was supposed to be 1 mark because nothing is easier than that. Then how would you convert? You see, national account conversions. If I come back, I just want to show you. If I come back here, you see we have conversions here, but the one they're asking, you see, let's look at number 51. How do you convert from GDP to GNP? So if you knew this one, how do you convert from GNP to GDP? You see, so conversions, they'll ask them in the exam. So make sure you practice with that. Then you, when you come here, or you see, how would you convert GDP to GNP? So if you knew that one, then this one is going to be easy. Then now they're asking you to calculate for 4 marks. Right, another one here. They give you this information, then 1, 1, 2, 2, 4 again. So basically it prepares you. Here's another one. So our workbook will expose you to the exam. That's basically what it does. It exposes you to the exam. Here's another data response, 1, 1, 2, 2, 4. So you end up getting used to their questioning techniques. And this is all circular flow. I'm saying all circular flow questions that have been asked since 2017 up until 2023. So anyone who has written the final exam in grade 12 between 2017 and 2023, they came across these questions. So basically, these questions will prepare you for your exam. Now, after your data response, we also have 2 8-mark questions from question 2 and 2 from question 4. So that is 32 marks. So you have 32 marks from 8-mark questions. So I put all 8-mark questions that have ever been asked since 2017, which come from circular flow. So here they are. I give you space there. Practice. So this will also familiarize you with these type of questions. Then we have your favorite, which is our essay type questions. So I've also given space for you to write your essays. So this also trains you to know what are the essays for macroeconomics, what are the essays for whatever. So you can see that secular flow has one essay. So in the next video, I'm going to address business cycles. Thanks for watching. Subscribe.